Can my Apple Watch tell if I'm possessed? If nuclear waste is so dangerous, why does it look so delicious? All of these answers you can find... All of these questions you can find the answers to on this Paranormal Life! Hello everyone and welcome back to this Paranormal Life, the comedy paranormal podcast where every week, myself and my associate Kit Greer-Malvena investigate a brand new paranormal case and come to the conclusion as to whether or not it is true or false. We are at the end of the Scooby-Doo episode, all right? We've caught the creature and we're about to pull off the mask. And we're going to find whether or not we need to shoot this thing in the back of the head.
Yeah, you went Benjamin Button mode at the start of this podcast, asking if any of these answers have questions even worth answering.
Got a little bit backwards. It's been a while since we've recorded the podcast because I've actually been in the United States of America for the last week or so.
Rory didn't believe there was a heat wave. He had to check it out for himself.
Yeah.
He came back looking like a Looney Tunes character whose gun had backfired. Just kind of soot, hair stood on end, looked terrible.
You're barely joking because, you know, as someone who lives here in the UK, one thing I'm very proud of, I'm very passionate about, is walking places. And when I go to America, I try and bring that with me. I was trying to walk everywhere. And if you've lived in some American cities, you realize sometimes that's just not an option.
I was trying to talk some sense into Rory, but he was like, I do have a connection from Houston Airport to LAX. I'm going to walk it. I really think I can. I was like, Rory, I understand you want to bring your European mindset, but it's a little far, don't you think, bud?
I was like, what is that? Just like 20, 30 minutes? I could maybe hitchhike for a little bit. No, it's an interesting experience. Because you have to cross over like the highways and shit.
It sounds like your Google Maps was broken.
No. I was just trying to get to Barnes & Noble. It took me on a borderline Lord of the Rings level quest.
Right.
Just to get a book.
Rory's got a rag over his head trying to keep him cool. He's passed his 6th Taco Bell in 3 miles. And he's like, we'll take the mines. We'll pass through the mines.
And of course, I'm in Los Angeles, so it didn't help that I'd smoked so much weed, I could barely see straight.
The only thing he was smoking more than weed was car exhausts, walking the freeway.
My sister eventually found me in Barnes & Noble. I had the munchies so bad, I was just eating bookmarks like French fries.
She was like, just be an American. Just buy your books on Amazon, get them delivered to your house.
But I'm back now. And back to my walking. Walk to the studio today. Sure. We're going to walk probably to the restaurant tonight. Back in my walking. It's great. It's good to be back.
I live in Ireland. I don't agree with this. We're basically American. We drive everywhere.
Yeah, you would think that there'd be more walking in Ireland. But the public transport is really so bad that you kind of have to drive.
When your country's this green, you don't need green environmental policies. You can actually pollute, do whatever you want, really.
Right, you got some green to burn.
What's going to happen? The grass is going to go away? I don't think so, pal. Not with the amount of rains here.
Well, to be fair, actually, there's a lot of rain, which is another good reason not to walk places in Ireland. Kid, as much as I'd love to chat about walking and Northern Ireland and America at the start of our podcast, we do actually have a paranormal story that we need to dive into today. We are going to be investigating a little phenomenon known as the Hessdalen lights.
Oh, okay. I do like lights, not just Christmas ones and big ones in the middle of rooms, but like the Phoenix lights, paranormal lights. We've done a few different lights. And I mean, mentioning the Phoenix lights have set a high bar on this Paranormal Life.
They really have. You wouldn't think a light could be so goddamn paranormal, but hell, what is this, our 13th case just about lights? Well, if you like lights, hopefully you also like Norway, because that is where we are headed in today's case, right after a quick word from today's sponsors. And a reminder, you can get every episode of this podcast ad-free on patreon.com/thisparanormallife. Our story today takes place all the way back in 1981. It's December 1st, and we're in Norway. It was late one wintry night when an unexpected call came through to the local police. Is this the Norway Police Department? I need to report some suspicious activity.
Sure, can you give us the street address?
Well, it ain't on the street. It's in the sky.
Hold on. Sorry, we've got a call on the other line. Hello?
Good Lord! You guys gotta get down here! There's something crazy going on!
Norway police, please hold for a minute.
Have you guys seen what's happening out here? Dozens of calls started pouring in to the Norwegian police and their very authentic accents, claiming that a strange object was floating in the sky, drifting towards the small city of Trondheim. Some reported it as a series of bizarre lights, dividing and merging as it soared through the air, which sounds pretty beautiful and peaceful, but others said it looked like a giant bullet.
Damn.
Now, the Norwegian police went out that night searching the skies, but came up empty-handed. Whatever this thing was, by the time they'd made it to Trondheim, it was gone. No surprise there. If this thing is what we think it is, it arrived from another galaxy, all right? You ain't catching it.
Okay, you're saying this is potentially unidentified flying object, a UAP, UFO.
Yeah, we are moving very fast in today's case. Almost as fast, you could say, as the craft itself. Even though the police didn't see it, for better or for worse, this wasn't the only time the locals would see what would soon become known as the Hessdalen lights. 6 weeks later, on January 18th, 1982, the lights returned, stunning locals who watched in awe as this alien craft lit up the night sky.
We don't know what's an alien
like
craft
the
yet.
4th of July.
Well, it's not really. It's because that would be fireworks, not a UFO.
Crazy lights in the night sky twirling. I'm sure there were a couple of hot dogs being eaten.
Sure.
I mean, it's a big city, Trondheim.
You just said it was a small city.
Did I?
Yes.
I'm getting excited by frankly, the intense paranormal evidence that we're being presented with today.
It's not really yet. You can't just say the case is moving fast, but then just call it aliens without providing any evidence. It moves fast if it moves fast. Right now, it's just lights.
Okay, I can admit right now, yes, what they're seeing is just lights in the sky moving in strange formations.
I'm sure that you know something I don't about the story to come, that you have decided it's aliens.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is
yet.
You might look mighty foolish after the ad break.
I'm going to have egg on my face in a second.
Kit, this second sighting took place January 1982. This was a whole new year. You thought you'd left that weird light thing in the sky back in 1981, and here it is again.
Interesting. Norway, a place known for lights, I will say. Mostly the northern lights.
Yeah.
But not to be sniffed at, because the northern lights, the aurora borealis, is of course an incredible, strange phenomenon that most people in the world don't have the good fortune to experience. I actually saw it for myself extremely recently for the first ever time. It was a bit odd seeing it kind of, because I was seeing it in Ireland, not quite as far north as Trondheim. So
sure.
I could kind of see something in the sky. I was like, I think I can see it. And then I took photos and I could really see it in the photos. But it is, mystical. It is galactic in some way.
Well, sure, yeah.
But it's solar radiation kind of cascading down on Earth, interacting with our atmosphere. Not paranormal, but very cool.
Yeah.
This is different. And these Norwegians have seen funny lights before.
This is it.
So they know.
This kind of works to my point.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in a place famous for the weird shit that happens in the night sky.
Yeah.
So for something else to happen that is so dramatic that local Norwegians start calling the police department, then you know it's something crazy.
And that goes without even bringing up Santa Claus, Sinterklaas, and his many, many elves and reindeer, because again, these guys are so close to Lapland. They're used to seeing, that's like the 82 bus headed north.
Yeah.
They see Santa going, he's just going to get his little shopping kind of 3 times a week. They're used to seeing that kind of stuff in the sky. So they've seen it all in the sky.
They have. So you know that this is something different and this is something unique.
Yeah.
At this point, the Hessdalen lights had become a bit of a local phenomenon. Many had seen it with their own eyes. Others flocked near Trondheim to try and catch a glimpse of it themselves. One of those individuals was a man named Arne Wist, a journalist who had heard the stories of the lights and wanted to check them out for himself.
Wist?
Is there something wrong with that name?
No.
Or how I'm pronouncing it?
Not Arne length, not Arne height. Arne width.
He's the widest man you've ever seen in your life. He wanted to go check out these lights for himself, but not to try and prove that they exist, to try and prove that they don't.
Oh boy, we got a skeptic on our hands.
We do. Arnie was a hardcore skeptic and basically wanted to write a piece for the local paper debunking the lights and calling everyone that claimed that they saw it a lying piece of shit.
My God. Can you imagine having one of these people in your lives? And yes, look, I understand that blah, blah, blah. Skeptics are necessary for the scientific method. Skeptics make the world go round because they actually believe in facts.
Yeah.
Imagine living with one of those people. Imagine being married to one of those people. You're like, come here, sweetie, look at the beautiful sunset over the beach. This is incredible. I've never seen it like that before. They're like, oh, well, actually, it's really nothing's happening. The red color is an illusion that you've left. You've already left.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, just let me enjoy the sunset, man. Let me enjoy the picture. I don't want to hear an explanation. I don't want the sunset to be debunked.
Yeah.
All right.
God, those people are the worst. You meet someone new and you're like, I'm gonna say it. I think I'm in love. And this person kind of points their glasses up their head and goes, I think what you call love, scientists have explained as chemicals being released into the brain. It's a simple evolutionary technique to promote breeding between mammals.
You kick them in the nuts. Oosh.
Yeah, and it's like, you've never bred with a mammal in your life, nerd.
Hell yes. That's how to deal with skeptics, ladies and gentlemen. Violence.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't like that. There's a time and a place for skepticism, but you ought to know your place, all right? It's like when my mother said that I couldn't raise a kimono dragon in my one-bedroom London apartment. And let me tell you, that kimono dragon lived a happy 16 days in East London.
You mean a Komodo dragon?
No, I had a lizard in a kimono. A traditional Japanese garb.
Jesus Christ. How did it die in 2 weeks?
It didn't die. He escaped. I said, right, I think he's in East London now.
But for 16 days, he had
For 16 days, he was completely fine.
Yeah.
So...
Well, not really, because he wanted to leave terribly, it sounds like.
Yeah, he ate a lot of my protein bars, and now I'm almost too afraid to find him again. Because I think he's maybe turned into some sort of Spider-Man level villain.
He was busting out that kimono. Day 7.
A kimono dragon. That is great. So as I said, Arnie Wist decided to go... Are you going to be all right? Can we continue?
You gotta change his name to Arnie Width or so, because just the
it's Wisp
on the end.
It's Wisp. I don't make it up. That's the man's name.
But I don't know, something about because of the way that name is pronounced. You have to wait for so long to hear the.
It's really hard. End. It's really hard to pronounce. I'm probably butchering. It's definitely not how this is pronounced. Arnie was a skeptic. He went here to prove that the lights weren't real. And imagine his surprise when he arrived near Trondheim to be greeted by a borderline star destroyer tearing its way down to Earth.
Was it real or was it just some lights?
I am barely kidding, by the way. All right, hardcore Arnie Width claimed to have seen, on arrival, a star-like object growing larger and brighter as it rapidly approached the Earth. He said that this strange light froze in place and started hovering in the sky above the town. Then it floated back and forth, descending even further before eventually disappearing into nothing.
That is really interesting. It is also not a Star Destroyer. I just need you to stop exaggerating for kind of dramatic effect. A Star Destroyer is like a giant moon-sized ship, right?
Well, I think it's more like a planet. It's huge, yeah.
Right, for sure. This was a star. This was a light. It was a light that came down to Earth.
Yeah, it was a light. It was a series of lights, but it was.
I'm just being.
Have you heard about the path that it's taking? It's almost colliding with the Earth. It's tearing through the sky, freezing in place, moving back and forth, and then disappearing. Yes,
let's put on our UAP investigator hats for a second. Of course, I'm pushing my glasses back up my nose. Of course, this kind of behavior is extremely typical of modern sightings of UAPs. This is a relatively modern sighting, I suppose, in the 80s. But that is characterized by erratic movements, start, stop, kind of flight patterns, moving at right angles. Stuff that is not necessarily impossible, but extremely unusual for kind of contemporary, common planes, helicopters, things like that.
Yeah, they kind of defy the laws of, I don't know, movement, which is kind of pretty well established. Now, luckily, as we said, Arnie was a reporter, meaning that during this sighting, he had a camera on hand and actually managed to snap a picture of this encounter.
Whoa, cool.
Kit, take a look at this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at a color image taken in the 80s. This is presumably on analog film rather than a modern digital camera. It is reasonably well lit shot of the sky. There's some mountains in the background.
It's well lit, all right, by the Hessdalen lights.
Yeah. What the is this kind of chromatic coloring going on the bottom? I need you to get that out of the way.
It's from I don't know what that is. This is from this thing that we're seeing is from another galaxy. What the is Jar Jar Binks? You might as well be asking me that question.
Super Nintendo Charmer's voice. Why is the Aurora Borealis occurring entirely within Arnie's own camera, just in the bottom of the frame? Okay.
Kid is referencing the fact that yes, there's white lights in the sky leaving a strange trail, but almost through being interpreted by the lens of the camera, there's some crazy ass chromatic kind of rainbow pattern that's captured also on the picture.
Yeah, okay. I'm being a little slow. I got to put on my detective hat here.
We're moving fast. I said this episode is a bullet.
It's not a bullet. It's not even that fast. It's been the same phenomena seen in the sky a year apart by a handful of people. So,
and that's really all it's ever going to be. I'll warn you now.
Wow, the mask really slipped there.
Just I don't want you to get your hopes up. I know I said there was like a pilot coming in part 2, but don't expect that.
Rory poured a glass of whiskey as he said that last line as well. Okay, we still don't know what we're looking at. It kind of just looks like a flare.
Yeah.
A really dramatic flare that's flying side to side.
This is only great because this photo that we have is coming from the guy who was supposed to be the skeptic that proved that everyone else was wrong. He ends up being the guy who has the most convincing photograph of all time.
I do like the idea that he took the photo being like, so as you can see, I've proved that it's everyone's like, look at this amazing photo of a UFO. He's like, no, that doesn't show that. It shows a simple trick of the light. Everyone gather round.
All hail Arnie. All hail Arnie. He's like on everyone's shoulders. Like, no. I do love this. This feels like, being a skeptic and ending up stumbling across the greatest evidence of all time would be the equivalent of being an atheist and bumping into Jesus.
Right.
And you're kind of hoping it just looks a lot like Jesus. It's not actually him. But you could have sworn that wine in his glass was water 2 seconds ago.
Yes, I mean, this is literally the story of doubting Thomas, isn't it? He's like, if you're Jesus, let me touch the holes in your hands. And he's like, I bet, son.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit. Well, maybe he also had a hole in his hand.
Right, we don't know. Yeah. Although Arnie had managed to capture a photograph, the object vanished before he could take another. But he didn't just see it once. This object kept appearing, and exactly 1 week later, Arnie saw it again, this time with 30 witnesses with him, and they all saw it.
Interesting.
Witnesses claimed that the lights pulsated, changed colors, and floated around in the night sky in random directions. This is the reason why the Hessdalen lights are such a unique case in the world of UFO sightings, is because these motherfuckers won't stop turning up. This isn't like Roswell or something where we can pinpoint the time and place and date that the craft appeared. These things have been turning up non-stop for the last 100, maybe 200 years.
Wait, we don't know that. Where'd you get that from? 100 years?
Who knows? If they've always been there for as long as humans have seen them in Norway.
I thought there was presumably a start point to this tale.
Yeah, it was a start point when we looked up. Norwegian ufologist Leif Havik decided to take a look for this thing in 1982.
Leif Havik?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I created that character in Tekken in 1999.
In 1982, during a 4-day expedition, he saw it 6 times.
Wow.
That's more than once a day this thing's turning up.
Yeah. So it's happening extremely frequently. I mean, at this point, this is kind of transcending a traditional UFO experience because normally UFOs have a place to be. Even if they're coming down to observe humans or like gather data, take it away to their home planet, even abduct someone, usually they come and go.
Yeah, they're not sticking around.
Are these unemployed aliens? Like, why are they just at a loose end?
Yeah.
Are they getting kind of alien COVID stimmy checks?
That is...
They just get to hang out. Are they in gap year on Earth?
That is a really good point. We're not seeing a motive really for them turning up. I mean, that is insane. Seeing this thing 6 times in 4 days.
Yeah.
Wild. I have loved ones I've seen less frequently than that. That's more than I saw my lizard in the brief period it lived with me in East London. They said that they saw what looked like, and here we go, we're having a little twist in the story here, an oblong object in the sky.
Yeah, okay, because we need someone to, if this is like a mantra of this paranormal life, is stay with me here. Some kind of scientific law, and we can do this kind of with cool quotes. I think this could be a great quote, and we could put my name to it afterwards.
Well, let's hear the quote
People
first.
will probably use it for years and years after I say this. Okay.
And let's try and nail it, because sometimes you like kind of stumble through stuff, and I feel like that's going to take away from the punctuality of the quote.
No. My middle name is Bullet. I get to the point. All right.
Okay. Was that the quote?
Quotation marks. Open quotation marks.
Really funny if the quote was, my middle name's Bullet, I get to the point. Quote by Kit Greer Mulvenna.
Yeah.
It's like, your middle name's not Bullet?
Kit B. Greer Mulvenna. Open quotation marks. Let me finish for one. Open quotation marks. The frequency of paranormal observation is proportional to the amount of evidence we need. End quotation marks.
That was the quote?
It's a scientific law. This is we're going to call it Kit's law going forward. It's a paranormal theorem. The more often people keep talking about a paranormal thing happening, we've seen it before at a haunted house. They're like, oh, Sandra, the ghost, she eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the canteen like clockwork every day. She's there at the same time every day. It's like, all right, show me the ring cam footage. Show me the GoPro footage. Because if you're saying it's this often, we need to start seeing more evidence. So in this case, if we're hearing this thing is showing up like clockwork, we are going to need video. We're going to need, someone has got to set up a telescopic lens to, like you say, get what is the object itself? Is it producing light? Is it just light? What shape is the object if it is an object?
That's true. Yeah, the bolder the claim, the more evidence required to back it up.
Hey, don't. I'm
that
sorry.
was actually a bit of a smoother,
No.
Yeah.
There was no quotation marks. You didn't do open quotation marks or closed quotation marks.
I actually think mine was a little more bullet to the point.
No.
It was a bit more cool.
No.
Rory Bullet Powers also sounds like a pretty cool name, you know? Maybe I should take that one.
Yeah, Rory's got a B initial in his middle name. It doesn't stand for bullet. All right, guys? So...
I think you have a quote. It's only fair that I have a quote.
Okay.
So
knock yourself out.
Let me pull one out.
Just try. You're not gonna outshine my one. Sorry, I have the. Did you open quotation mark yet? Is it Because that's
no. I haven't opened the quotation marks yet.
That would actually be pretty befitting of Rory because he's kind of a waffler.
Here's my quote.
Okay.
Open quotation marks.
Nice.
Wake up and live, or lay down and die. End quotation marks.
Wake up and live.
I will
say it goes to the point. I'm just trying to figure out what the point is.
It's just kind of like a cool mantra to have, you know?
Do you know what that really feels like? That would be someone's like, what did you call that on Xbox 360 Live? You could have like a little motto.
Oh yeah, a little slogan.
Like that would be like, it would be like Rory Magic Powers, and then you'd have your slogan underneath.
It kind of seems like the thing someone would have tattooed on their back next to like an American flag or an eagle or something.
And then they would have tattooed like unf***withable up their arm. Okay. Wake up and live, or lay down and die. Rory Powers, 2024.
Yeah, I actually came up with a cool quote accidentally the other day when I was talking to someone about riding a motorbike, and I was talking to them about how when you start riding a motorbike, going like 10 miles an hour is scary.
Yep.
And then you get a little better and you going 20 miles an hour is so scary because you feel like you're going really fast.
For sure.
And they were like, oh, well, how do you get used to it then? How do you get a bit more comfortable going that fast on a bike? And I said, you know how you get comfortable going 90 miles an hour? By going 100.
You've never gone 90 or 100 miles an hour on a motorbike.
My bike can't go that fast.
Yeah.
I think it maxes out at about 23.
And I think your license is limited to a pretty low speed.
It's called a Scooty Putt Junior. My knees reach the handlebars. It's really not a real motorbike at all. It's got Spider-Man on the front.
I take it, though. I take the point.
Kit, I know what you're wondering. If so many people are seeing this thing in the night sky, where are the videos? Where is the evidence? Well, luckily, we have it. Of course, if this thing has been seen as much as I'm claiming that it has been seen, people are going to capture it on camera. So why don't you check this out, you little skeptical son of a bitch. These people are looking up into presumably the night or evening sky at these lights. The lights appear out of nowhere. It seems like they're in a bit of a sporadic shape, but they very quickly form what looks like a line, like an organized line, before then compiling back into one light and disappearing completely.
If I was seeing that for the first time, I would think I was being carpet bombed by the US military. It looks a little bit like something like a carpet bomb. You know when like a plane's being chased by a missile and they do the flares? Yeah. And the flares kind of shoot like chook, 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 chook out the side, and they're kind of falling down. And it does look like it's a line, it's a bit organized, raining out of the sky. That's what this looks like. But these flares aren't falling out of the sky. They are moving into different kind of positions. And then, as I said, disappearing completely into nothing, which is only weird because you hear so many stories where people are like, hey, in the end, the lights disappeared. You're like, what do you mean? They took off and you didn't see them anymore? Or they slowly kind of dimmed, but they got really low and then you couldn't see them? These motherfuckers just poofed right out of there. They blipped. They're gone. Crazy that we have this stuff on video. I feel like we've done a lot of cases where we talk about things like this and we never have video evidence. So great to see it in today's case. What, you don't break your own back patting it there? I just think it's impressive. That's crazy. To have actual video evidence of the thing we're talking about. I feel like that's for me to say, not you to say, but that's cool. Well, you didn't, so I had to kind of step in. And I actually do look really handsome today also, because I was hoping you were going to say that when we started, but you didn't. Yeah. So I had to say that too. But Kit, this isn't the only time the Hessdalen lights have been captured on video and on camera, because as I said, sightings of these things go back maybe even longer than we know. We're going to hear all about these lights and maybe even reveal our most damning evidence yet. Right after a quick word from today's sponsors. It's said that the Hessdalen lights can be traced back to the valley as early as the 1930s. Okay, so not hundreds of years, like you said earlier. That might have been an exaggeration. You said the dawn of time. Well, you said never know. Since humans looked up at the sky. Hey, we ain't getting a lot of information from the dinosaurs, all right? Maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't. They ain't exactly around anymore to tell us their stories. Right, but it's not maybe it did, maybe it didn't. It's the 1930s. That's when it started. The 1930s is the first time it was reportedly seen. So we'll move on with that for now. So 50 years before the sighting from today. Okay, that's fine. They appear both during the day and the night as an object or a series of lights. Sometimes they move at incredible speeds. Other times they don't move at all. And these things aren't small either. Reports have claimed that the object, when it appears as an object, is as large as a car floating in the sky. Okay. So many people have spotted this craft over the years that eventually the locals established a group called Project Hessdalen. Wait, how have we gone from, we've seen this as multiple lights. Now they're talking about it as just being one object? I think people who have seen it during the day, when it's not just lights, they're like, it's a f***ing Toyota Corolla. This thing is just floating in the sky. It's a big object. Yeah, can the owner of the 96 Corolla license plate ending 352 please come to the Trondheim police station? Okay, fine. I will say, this is often a topic of debate in UFO cases where you are seeing a lot of lights. Let's go back to the Phoenix lights for a second. There was a lot of disagreement as to whether the changing, shifting light patterns was lots of smaller crafts or one large craft where the lights are simply shifting.
Right. Yeah, in a similar way that if you looked in the dark at a Christmas tree, you're like, is this one big object or are those 100 little Christmas tree lights?
Sure.
You know? So I get that. Seeing it in the daytime and the nighttime, very different results. When it comes to Project Hessdalen, however, I found their website online. They're still going. They have photos, sightings, testimonies from witnesses dating all the way back from 1982 to the current day. There are photos of the Hessdalen lights taken as recently as March this year. And you can go on their website. It's awesome. They have all of the photos and testimonies and everything logged every single year, all the months. It's crazy. And research into these strange lights hasn't died down either. In fact, as recently as 2018, the Hessdalen Observatory was set up in the mountains to study the strange phenomenon.
Okay, this is what I want. A big, bloody magnifying glass focused on these things.
The scientists do have a few theories, whether it's crystals in the rocks causing electric pressure, dust particles in the air refracting light, but after all of these years, they're no closer to uncovering the answers to the mystery. And that's because the answers that you're looking for aren't on your precious Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, you just saw a floating Tesla in the sky? And you think there's some, there might be some dust particles creating an effect that means I can see a Cybertruck floating above Trondheim. What you're seeing didn't come from this planet.
Right.
That's why you can't explain it.
Well, right, that's fine. We just still should be able to photograph it just up close or something, or just fly up in a helicopter and figure out what's going on.
You don't want to get close to this thing on a helicopter. You're going to be turned into Swiss cheese, my friend.
Didn't you hear the bullet allegations?
Before we get into what the nerds of the world think this thing might be, let's say what everyone else is thinking. This thing is intergalactic. This thing is a UFO. It is from another planet, and we are somehow perceiving it with our human eyes. As we said, it ticks all the classic boxes from previous UFO cases. Strange lights, moving at impossible speeds, changing direction mid-air. We even have an artist's interpretation of how these lights in the night sky could be lights on board of an actual physical UFO. Kit, take a little look at this picture.
Artist interpretation, a child artist's interpretation, I think.
Children can be artists.
They can.
They just use more macaroni than most adult artists.
This drawing took, conservatively, 18 seconds, which I suppose reflects how little information we have to go on.
Well, that's as long as you get to look at it for, the Hessdalen lights.
This is very funny. They basically took a granted, very close-up image.
Yeah.
Comparatively to what we've seen, image of the lights. I mean, they've drawn a circle around the lights.
Look.
A kind of egg shape around the lights and said that that's the shape of the ship. We've said before on UFO investigations, aliens apparently like tungsten lighting.
Yeah, they really do.
If that is they are inferring that is the lighting from inside the ship almost coming out.
A warm glow.
Through glass. It is I think there's Barry White records getting played in there, some cognac getting poured. There's a kind of a romantic UFO evening going on.
You mentioned that it looks like that it took the artist 18 seconds to complete this painting. I just want to point out, for some people, 18 seconds is a long time. And if you're really good at your craft, you actually don't need any more time than that at all. It's actually more efficient to get things done fast. Who said sex? No one said that. I'm talking
nothing
about...
to do with what we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about... Well, I mean, Jesus, if you bring it up, 18 seconds is time to... it's plenty of time. That's on their planet, 18 seconds. On the planet of these... 18 seconds could be a year. We don't know.
18 seconds is universally kind of understood to be a short unit of time. Because it's not even a minute. It's a third of a minute.
If you talk to one of these aliens and you're like, guys, am I right? And it's like, our love making takes 12 galactic moons. Yeah. And oh, shit. That's a long time. It really is.
On our planet, we call it edging. We call it edging too, guys. Really? That's cool.
We're not that different, I guess. Look, I get it. It's not a great picture of anything. Not even of the lights, it's not a great picture.
It's not a convincing flying saucer. It's like, I feel like we could kind of imagine that in our mind's eye without it being drawn.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to say, they were like, hey, look, here's the lights. Here's what it would look like if it was a UFO. It's like, cool, well, the second thing you drew looks like a witch's finger. So I don't even think that is a UFO.
I don't know what reaction they were hoping for us to be like, holy fuck, that is absolutely from another galaxy.
Yeah, wait, compare the images. Put them side by side.
Their artistic vision is without parallel. They can see things we don't.
Look, Kit is right, unfortunately. There are problems with this theory of the Hessdalen lights being an alien craft. UFO sightings don't usually appear this frequently. They're one and done. Sometimes, there's a few sightings, but they take place over maybe a week, max. Having lights so consistently appearing, being photographed, videoed, it's very unusual, I would say, for a UFO case. And also, we really have no motive for this thing showing up. It's not like people are being abducted, cattle is going missing. We don't have any strange radioactive symptoms being displayed by the vegetation or wildlife. It's not really affecting anything or anyone. So it's strange if this was an alien craft, why it would just be turning up so consistently. So what are some other possible paranormal explanations? Well, some people believe that what we may be dealing with is actually some kind of spiritual energy. Could these lights, in fact, not be from any living entity, but instead a physical manifestation of a ghost or a spirit?
Oh.
Yeah.
Not where I saw this line of inquiry going. I suppose it makes sense given the sheer lack of information present with something like this. This is not, in our scale of Close Encounters of the First, Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth kind. What number are we even at? We're not at a very high number because this thing is not getting close at all. It's not really a close encounter of any kind. So I suppose everything is up for grabs at this moment. We have talked in the past about things like onibi, which are Japanese kind of spirit lights associated with the souls of the departed.
And jack-o'-lanterns and that strange history,
which I think we even mentioned in those investigations. These concepts are probably largely linked. Jack-o'-lantern is probably the same concept as an onibi. Is this the Norwegian version of all of this? Is it the same idea? Is this the souls of Norwegian Vikings battling in Valhalla to this day?
Right, their spirits glowing in the night sky.
I mean, if you asked a 6th century Viking that, he would say yes.
He would say, that's our god.
Yes, he would say that is Odin beating some down in the sky.
Little disappointing that he's appearing as lights in the night sky and not Lion King style, Simba's dad's head appearing and being able to talk for some reason. That would be really cool. That's what we really want if this is the spirits of the dead. Just some more paranormal theories before we move into our following section, which is nerd theories.
Let's go.
Let's kick off by saying, yes, scientists are still studying the phenomenon. We still don't know what it is. They haven't agreed on what causes it. Some people think... Isn't it
f***ed up that scientists can just say that? It's like, all right, what are we paying you for then? Societally, what are we paying? I'm sorry, so you go to university, many cases paid for by my tax pounds, all right?
Yeah.
You go to university.
I think I'm on your
swan
side,
around
but it's
in
really
a
hard to
laboratory,
tell.
you put on a little lab coat, you get paid more than the average Joe in the street who's working hard and sore all day long.
Yeah.
And then when someone actually needs answers about something that matters, I don't want to hear about research into health. When something that actually matters, something like these lights, then they just go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked into it. Not sure.
Oh, you don't know? That's crazy. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. We don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, that's cool. How about I just ask you again, mother... Give me the lab coat. I'm the scientist now. I am the scientist.
You know so little about the scientific world. It's not going to help.
I'll figure it out in 5 seconds flat. And even if I'm wrong, at least I'll have an answer.
Hey, look, I agree with you, brother. You know, we pay Tom Brady millions of dollars to throw a football. And guess what that son of a bitch does? He throws a football
Have
hard.
you seen him throw it?
He throws that thing hard.
No one asked him to throw it that far. But he
does it.
He does it further, harder, faster than anyone ever expected.
So if I'm paying a guy with glasses in a laboratory with a lab coat to solve the mysteries of the universe, you best hope by the time I'm there to collect the bill, the mysteries are solved.
Get Tom Brady in there. Get Tom Brady in a lab coat. Give him a little microscope. Give him a big microscope. For all I care.
Whatever, yeah.
You know, I'm starting to think that we need a guy who's going to get results when it comes down to investigating the paranormal.
He might be able to take one of those things out of the sky with a football. Genuinely. We don't know. Yes, it is true. The scientists who are investigating it and have been investigating it still do not know what it is, which is an insane sentence to say in today's world of modern science and technology.
If I was in charge of scientists, I would be operating a medieval king-style trap door where I would be kind of lounging on a giant throne and the scientists would have to kind of walk up to me and I'd be like, so what is the solution to the mystery of the lights? And they're like, we're not sure, sire. Stand to the left, peasants.
Send them down.
Into the moat they go.
Right.
And then you best believe the next scientists who are waiting in the lines to tell me about how many fruit pastels it takes to choke a kestrel, they have an answer.
Yeah. And it's going to be whatever answer I want to hear, let me tell you. The funny thing about dealing with a phenomenon like this is usually if it's a UFO or something that seems like it has kind of military links to it, we have the government version of an explanation, which is always your typical weather balloons, experimental aircraft, anything along the lines of that. When it's some kind of phenomenon like this, we have the equally frustrating scientific explanations that we see all the time. For example, some scientists believe that these lights could be caused by dust.
All right, stand in front of the X. Stand in the X. I'm going to pull a lever. F you.
It's dust.
All right,
dust.
F you.
Dust. I think it's dust particles from mining in the area burning up in the air.
Actually, I didn't think about that. That's interesting. Hold up.
Theory...
Hold up. That is actually
low-key.
No, sorry. Because it is
true.
You
were so against this like 2 seconds
because
ago.
Did you know that shooting stars, they're not stars? I think everyone knows that. They're not stars. But what I didn't know is I thought they were at least like meteorites, basically. Like you hear of like meteor showers, you see them burning up and stuff. But apparently the stuff you see burning up is like absolutely tiny. It's not even the size of a pebble. Is
that true?
It's basically just like dust flying down.
Really?
I need to fact check that before
you
I finish
definitely
talking.
do.
But apparently it's friggin'
he's completely wrong.
Tiny.
Completely wrong.
Tiny.
Yeah, I just assumed it was something at least big enough that, we're seeing it.
So point being, something very small will still burn in the atmosphere, I believe.
Yeah, the atmosphere of the Earth's limits.
Yeah.
Mining dust isn't getting that far.
I don't know.
That's insane. In 2010, a different hypothesis suggested that the lights are created by a special kind of plasma made from charged particles in the air and dust. This could be caused by natural processes like radon decay.
You've never sounded more miserable reading a sentence in your life.
Listen up, eggheads. I don't know what radon is, let alone what the decay of radon is like, okay? All I know is...
The decay of radon, I think, was a spin-off of the Marvel universe where Thanos
it does sound like
some crazy
a Marvel
shit.
movie. All I know is I'm seeing a disco in the night sky, traveling at 100 miles per hour, and you're trying to tell me it's dust.
Yeah.
I just want to know who paid you and how much it was.
You know, I have sympathy. I have sympathy that, these people, they're using They're using the scientific method. They have to use Occam's razor. They are not allowed really to speculate. They're not allowed to kind of start going down paranormal routes realistically until they've kind of gone down every materialistic route that there is. And it is kind of, they should stretch before they try reaching that hard again. Because right now they are going through the Rolodex of they've tried everything. They've tried every possible explanation. If we're saying that dust is getting up like 30,000 feet in the sky and burning up somehow.
If dust caused shit like this to happen, every cowboy town would look like a music festival. It would be like getting flashbanged 300 times every time you walk out of the saloon.
That's very true.
You are right, though. Scientists are always going to provide scientific explanations, even if they are a stretch. For example, another theory proposed that the shapes of the lights might be caused by rocks underground breaking apart.
We're getting a balloon. Patreon this month is buying a balloon.
Why are we getting a balloon?
Well, not just one balloon. We're probably going to need hundreds, honestly, to offset our weight. We're strapping ourselves to a lot of balloons and we're going up there. I think
you're going to take the lead on this one. I'm going to,
No. We're going to need two because if I go up, no one's going to believe just me. It needs to be both of us. It has to be a double yes or a double no.
Well, I'll stay on the ground because someone's got a photograph.
No. You're coming up, my friend. Hey, this was your stupid idea.
It wasn't.
Now I'm dragged into it. Now I'm on Amazon trying to find a kind of job lot of balloons.
That's a really bad idea.
I'll get the balloons. You get the pellet gun because we're going to need to pop the balloons. That's how you get down again. You kind of strategically pop balloons.
Just watch us get up there. We reach 10,000 feet and we're like, all right, we've seen everything we need to see. Time to go down. We take out the gun. I drop all the pellets to the ground.
We get up to 10,000 feet. I'm like, Rory, you brought the oxygen tanks right, bud.
You turn to the left. My limp body is hovering in the night sky. Oh, shit. What's absolutely insane is, as recently as July 2024, this month, papers are still being written about what the Hessdalen lights could be.
Okay.
In the Journal of Scientific Exploration, a scientific paper was published theorizing that the Hessdalen lights could even be part of a multi-mouth wormhole buried inside the Earth.
A multi-mouth what?
A multi-mouth wormhole.
Do wormholes have mouths?
This is the... Yeah.
That's multi-mouth?
That's how you gotta get in. Through the mouth of the worm.
Okay.
Have you seen Dune?
Yeah. Yes, actually.
But this is cool. This is like a third explanation that we haven't really talked about is...
Sorry, did you say inside the Earth? I don't follow.
Yeah, I didn't read the paper. It was very confusing. But we have like paranormal explanation, scientific explanation in terms of it's crystals or dust or something like that. And then we have this third one. Is this something kind of beyond space and time? Is this some sort of invisible wormhole? Is this some sort of, something scientific but beyond our understanding of how the universe works?
Sure.
A cool theory.
Yes. Look, I've been a huge proponent in the past of the belief that we are ants. Rather than 2D animals living in a 3D world, we are 3D animals living in a 4th, 5th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th dimensional world. That we are 3D beings like Lara Croft's Tomb Raider running through a maze, but we cannot actually perceive, just using our eyes, we cannot perceive or feel the other layers of dimensions, just the way that Paper Mario, a 2D creature, would not be able to understand a sphere because he is 2D.
He thinks he's flesh.
Yes.
He's unaware that there's a real Mario that isn't paper. To him, he is Mario.
That's me up, actually, because I'm the Paper Mario in this situation, in this analogy. So there's a version of me that, all right, that's
probably somewhere. There's a better kid.
The point being, hey, people love Paper Mario. Don't with Paper Mario. The point being,
like, there's probably a kid that wouldn't have paused there, like would have just completed the thought in way less words,
Hey, I'm not going to pause. All right. I'm just going to keep talking because I can't stop.
Probably a kid that swears less too and is like nicer.
You're in my head, bitch. So stop. All right. Just let me talk. Paper Mario doesn't have... You're Toad. You're Toad for this.
You're Paper Toad.
The point being that, yes, we can barely understand, just as evolved monkeys, what is going on around us, it is certainly possible that there are higher echelons of dimensions going on around us that we're not fully au fait with the kind of possible phenomena that surround it. There's absolutely strange kind of natural world phenomena that are going on that we don't understand yet.
You're right. We, as humans, we are primitive creatures. You know, we are basically monkeys. And what do monkeys know? Me like banana. And that's it. My life, everything I do in my life is to get more bananas.
Is it?
No, in monkey terms.
Oh.
Through a monkey's eyes.
I do eat a lot of bananas.
Is all
Maybe
I want
that's
to do
like
is
a
get
subconscious
bananas.
thing.
They don't know about Oreos. They don't know about Gatorade. They don't know about Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah.
Because their understanding of what is out there in the world is so limited. All they're doing is just like, I want bananas.
Bananas are better than all those things, though, aren't they? So they're kind of right to just stick to bananas.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I don't agree.
Imagine giving a monkey a Monster Energy drink. They would never go back to bananas.
Yeah.
Because they were like, this is like 1,000 bananas. There's like 1,000 bananas injected into my bloodstream. We are the monkey. We are looking at the Hessdalen lights and going, I don't know, is it a banana?
We're going, ooh, ah, ah.
That's all we know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know about all this crazy stuff outside of our understanding of the universe. And I think this is really cool. It's just cool to have a thing that's still happening on Earth to this day that we can't explain. Because I know there's all that talk about, like, look, scientists, one of the mysteries of the universe is dark matter and antimatter and the type of matter that we can't see that makes up the majority of the universe that's always expanding or growing or moving at 1,000,000 miles per second. All these incredible mysteries. It's just cool that there's still a bit of an unsolved mystery that exists right here on Earth that in theory you can go see because apparently it's still being seen as of recently as March this year. And that rant will take us right into the conclusion section of our podcast. I feel a little bad throwing it to you first, Kit, but I think that's the smartest thing I can do after all of the evidence that's been presented today.
I can't believe you took us to an ad break saying we're going to come back with the most damning evidence yet, and then you showed me the artist's interpretation, which was like a charcoal squiggle.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. I didn't actually mean that. I meant the monkey analogy that I had. Yeah, I really thought that was going to push you over the line.
We spent like 3 minutes talking about that and then about 20 minutes pontificating about bananas.
I think you said you would kill scientists if they couldn't come up with the answers as well.
A real kind of North Korean way of looking at science and research.
Yeah, things really got away from me at the second half. That being said, remember the evidence from the first half. Remember the video, the photos, the testimonies.
Okay. Plus sides, absolutely. The evidence, well done. We've got a good amount of evidence on this case. As much as I would have kind of minimally hoped for given the high stakes involved here. We're saying that something is being visible all the time, saying that it's there for anyone who wants to see it, really, pretty much. And it's been going on for, you said, since the dawn of time or something.
Yeah.
Actually, potentially just the 1930s. So we were hoping for photos, hoping for video. We got both of those, which was really cool, really compelling. I mean, and probably to throw you a bone on this case, if we're being honest, probably as good as the kind of evidence that we saw with something like the Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights was probably, it had this drama factor, right, of like all happening in one night. It was this one and done drama to it, seen across a very large swathe of that side of America. This is more puzzling because this is happening in just one place.
Yes, this is more of a mystery. There's a reason why this is referred to as a phenomenon rather than a sighting in the night sky, similar to the Phoenix Lights. But you're right. This has everything, all the evidence that we would want in a classic UFO case, which does make it a little bit more interesting when it comes to conclusions. Because what's the question here? That this thing's real or not? Newsflash, buddy, it is. It is real. It's been photographed. It's been videoed. It's being investigated as we speak by scientists across the world. So, is it normal? No. That only leads us to one possible conclusion.
Where am I going? Where am I being led to? I feel like I'm being pushed down a corridor and I can't turn back.
That's why this week I'm giving the Hessdalen Lights a yes.
I'm giving it a no.
Unbelievable. All right, well, justify yourself, mother.
Dance, scientist.
You're a scientist to me now.
This is too far in the camp.
Sorry, Kit must have had
Can I finish?
Kit must have had his eyes closed during the 45-second video I saw him of the lights. Do you want to watch that again?
I saw the lights.
Do you want to watch that again?
I saw the lights.
Oh.
I did see the lights.
Okay, that's crazy.
Can I finish?
And the photograph? What about the photograph? Do you remember the photograph?
Yes,
or does your little pea brain wipe your hard drive every 45 seconds?
Don't insult me on the size of my brain. I also saw the drawing. That was really good.
I wish I hadn't shown you the drawing.
Rory's gritting his teeth.
I wish I hadn't shown you the drawing.
Yeah. Can I finish?
No.
Fine.
Thanks for listening, everyone, to this week.
Fine.
All right, say what you have to say. Say what you have to say.
All right.
No, this is great, actually. Because usually I'm trying to prove finally that Kit is an MIB and working with the government, but now he's going to expose himself. So hey, this actually saves me a ton of work.
Don't act like you haven't given nose to pretty compelling cases in my camp and vice versa. This is part of our job, is to be the devil on the shoulder, disagreeing in times when there is reasonable doubt. In this case, can I finish?
This story had a skeptic already, Arnie Wist, and he took the most convincing picture of all time.
I wish you would shut the up and let me speak. Did Arnie even believe in the end? He just said he saw the lights. He didn't say it was UFOs.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it, bud. Do I believe in Santa Claus? I saw him come down the chimney. Yeah, I suppose I think he's real now.
We didn't.
He ate my cookies and drank my milk. Yeah, I think he's probably real.
No, this is the equivalent.
Oh, do I believe in the Easter Bunny? I saw a rabbit shit out a chocolate egg. If you see that, yeah, it means you believe in the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, but this is the equivalent of seeing what we are imagining to be Santa flying across the sky. Everyone believing it's Santa, but then no one getting a present come Christmas time. It's like, okay, what was the point in all that? What was happening in the sky? Look, if there's zero interaction, zero other evidence beyond just the existence of a light itself to suggest that this is paranormal or a UFO, if we're saying this is aliens.
Look, he was there to prove that there was no light in the sky. He showed up and saw a light, photographed a light, came back later, saw the light again with 30 other people.
I believe in the light. No one's saying the light isn't real.
Well,
it
sounds like you don't believe in the light.
I believe in the light.
And that's a quote from Rory. Open quotations, believe in the light,
I think
close
that's just
quotations.
A Christian kind of thing.
Okay, sorry, you can speak now because
can I though?
Apparently you need to get your 2 cents in, your little kick while I'm down on the ground. So say what you have to say.
For me, it's just unfortunately
Go
awkwardly.
Ahead. Go ahead.
You know what I've done? You know what I've done? I think the listeners will understand where I'm coming from.
For me, it's just a what? You said for me, it's just a little something unbelievable.
There is too much possibility here that this is some kind of misunderstood natural phenomenon. That's what we just spent time discussing. It's not that I think it's not possible this is UFOs, but if we're looking for, we want evidence that is in actual suggestion of that it could be. I mean, we've seen UFO cases where there's panels from crafts left behind in the dirt.
Yeah, right? A lot of those turn out to be not real.
It's true, but it is the kind of bar of evidence that we like to think of, and in ghost cases, we don't like to get a photo of just an orb of a ghost or a light. Sure. Ideally, we want the ghost.
I get it. You want a bit more of a specific link between this and the world of the paranormal, whether it's a UFO or a ghost or a spirit. I'm content with this being something that science has not explained yet.
Right.
And I would consider that to be within the realms of the paranormal. We're both saying it exists.
Yes.
We both believe in the light.
Okay, I can see it from your camp. I can, now that you phrased it that way, I can see it, but I'm still not going to revise my take.
And that's fine. That is, differences happen, different definitions and distinctions between what people consider paranormal and not. We will once again throw this one to the lovely listeners of the podcast. It is your chance to rise up and decide whether this episode is paranormal or isn't paranormal.
Rise up. This isn't another Civil War situation. There is no civil. Don't quote rise up. And Rory is not kind of subconsciously kind of trying to tell people to rise up either.
No. This is don't rise up. Don't find the non-believers and bring them to the light.
No.
Send them to the light.
Don't send them to the light. Definitely don't do that.
Don't do that.
I feel like you're trying to message along the lines of the kind of, I don't want to bring it up, but the Shag Harbor Civil War.
Don't find those who doubt us and take the light from their eyes.
Whoa. All right.
Don't do anything like that.
All right. I think let's cool it.
Don't go to Kit's house on 32.
All right. All right. That's quite enough.
Oh, you sound like you're ready to believe now, brother.
You pinned me down live on the podcast.
Let us know. Let us know what you think. There's some great pictures and videos and even just YouTube videos and documentaries about these lights. Definitely worth checking out. If you want to come down on your own conclusion, do so. There's so much amazing evidence out there. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of This Paranormal Life. I hope you enjoyed it. A strange, mysterious, possibly scientific mystery that still remains on this earth. We've done a few cases like this before, and they're always pretty unique and fun.
This is really good timing, actually, because I've been talking on the after party about how this week, while I'm in London, I'm going to a stag do.
On my birthday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my kids.
I wasn't going to bring that up because
flew to London.
We don't have a lot of time
on my birthday to record podcasts with me, to work with me. He made it very clear we had to work on my birthday. And then when it hits 5:30,
I said you could do whatever you want.
Then when it hits 5:30 party
time,
he's got to go. He's got to go to a stag do. From a friend he hasn't actually seen in years and isn't going. He's not even going to the wedding.
Because he lives in Norway.
Which is crazy.
So, I'm not going to the wedding because it's in deep rural Norway.
Hey, after today's case, it sounds like that's exactly where you need to go, is to rural Norway to take a little look for these lights. Is your buddy Arnie Witst?
Rory didn't come to my last birthday party. We talked about it in the after party. I'm not going to get into it. That's a teaser. All right. I don't want to go tit for tat because that's not what this is about. But I'm just saying he did miss my last birthday party.
I did miss it. And it was for a way worse reason than going to a prior engagement.
Being a prior engagement. The point is that there is, this week, I'm going to meet up with a couple friends from this part of the world, but also a few Norwegian stallions, some crazy Norwegian guys who are going to be going stag mode here in London for a few days. Just by sheer odds, one of them's got to live in Trondheim, right? So
or close.
I ask them about these lights and see if anyone's heard of it or seen it.
You should ask it, and if they have genuinely anything to say, record it on your phone and we can play it on the after party.
Perfect idea. So I will get back to you about that. Put a pin in that.
Okay. We might hear more information. A great reason to sign up for the This Paranormal Life Patreon, where we have these extra weekly episodes every Friday. Everything that can't fit into the main episode we talk about on the after parties.
All the fights about birthdays that we can't fit into the main episode.
A lot of birthday fights. Stories from trips, stories from behind the scenes, and all that kind of stuff. It's all over on the after party. Patreon really is the best way to support the show. If you like listening and you want to get some great extra content, head over there. It is a really amazing place. We've been uploading exclusive stuff on there for 4 or 5 years now. So from as little as $5 a month, you can get access to a huge backlog of additional episodes and bonus content. It's a really cool place to go and connect with other fans of the show.
Couldn't agree more.
But if you can't support us monetarily, we get it. We get it. Life is expensive. Another great way to support the show is just leaving us a little review online, whether that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your podcast provider is. Give us a couple of stars, preferably 5 if you enjoyed it. If you want to give us less than that, I'd say don't give any stars at all. And say something that you liked about the podcast, or say something, just like I believe in the light, or follow the light.
Or not, yeah.
Hashtag Team Rory. The light is real.
I just don't want to start
something
throwing
like that.
People into factions again.
So,
hashtag Team Rory, it just seems kind of antiquated.
Whatever you want to do. The 5 stars because there were 5 lights seen in the photographs. And then hashtag Team Rory, down with Kit. Something like that. That would be awesome. But of course, on the Patreon, one of the rewards is getting a shout out right at the end of the podcast. And that's what we're going to do today. So thank you first off to Rain. Rain, don't go away. Come again now. Because the crops in the paranormal commune are dry. They are husks. They are borderline barbecued at this point. So a little water would go a long way for this community.
Yeah, we got scammed. We actually paid Rain a lot of money to come and do a rain dance here in the commune.
Right.
And Rain just flossed for about 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
It was like, we could have done that. We could have done that.
And we had the hottest summer on record.
It was a hot summer because flossing caught on in the commune and it was a dance party every night.
Thank you, Rain, anyway, for your support. Thank you also to Robert Ford.
Robert Ford, or as they call him in Norway, Robert Fjord.
Nice. That's right. Has Robert seen the lights?
Robert saw the lights, unfortunately, a little too up close. Yeah, that's right. He was a Norwegian Air pilot and saw them at, 3 foot distance? So he was blinded instantly, crashed the plane into the sea. Thankfully, everyone survived, but he is not yet regained his sight. So, good thing he listens to a podcast. You don't need your eyes for that, bud.
Oh, hey, that's great. They did say that he's going to be on life support for the next 4 years, which was a weird pun for the doctor to make because it was a really dark time, actually. But hey, 4 years, that'll pass fast, bud, and you'll be back on your feet flying jets in no time.
100%.
Thank you so much to everyone that supports us over on Patreon. If you're interested in getting involved, check it out, patreon.com/This Paranormal Life. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Ha det.